Daily Digest, and this is Nigeria Info 99.3. Since you got the dial right, just don't touch it, okay? You can get to see us on Facebook. You can get to see us on, I'm sorry, I forgot.
On YouTube.
On YouTube. You see, that was what I was telling you this morning about having senior moments. I mean, I never 70 something.
I know, right?
Even on paper, age. Nigeria's age is there's paper age, there's real age.
And there's political age.
And there's political age. Anyway, you're welcome to Daily Digest. All of you are used to what we normally do here. But today is Wednesday, and what that means is today is when we do Dear Bunmi, and let me tell you what Dear Bunmi is all about. There's an agony aunt in the Vanguard, she runs a full page of, people sending their problems, and then she advises them on what to do and what not to do sometimes. So what do we do here just to break the week so that we don't have a week of serious issues, talk. We just relax. Take off. Well, I can't take off my shirt now because I'm on YouTube. I don't want people to see my chest. Chest, Papa. So I don't want to frighten anybody. And so what we do here, and usually I would have a guest or guests, as the case may be. But COVID itself has brought some limitations. So it would have been nice to have a house of about 4 people, but I will sort it out with Nkiru, the farmer who is here. Nkiru Opareke. Nkiru, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
It's nice to have you. You won't welcome me to this.
No, you're supposed to also welcome me.
Okay. Right. But I need to let you know so that some people don't go to say, Nkiru is also a Dear Bunmi specialist. He's not. Nkiru is an engineer by profession, right?
Yes.
Yes, he's and she retired from ExxonMobil some many years ago, and then became. I like to, Nigeria, we like big words. I don't want to call you a farmer. I'm an industrial farmer. No, that's not you're industrial farmer entrepreneur.
The Nkiru farmer you've given me has taken over my name.
Yeah, yes, I hope your husband doesn't mind. And also, Nkiru is extremely current, very current. I'm sure you've heard me interview her times without number. And so I'm not going to let her go away with just doing Dear Bunmi. Let's just get serious for 1 or 2 minutes. Let me ask Nkiru, or let me discuss with her 1 or 2 things, and then we can then go to Dear Bunmi, okay? Don't worry, we have a whole 1 hour. We have a whole 1 hour. But before I talk to Nkiru, let me just take a break. Okay, I need to run. These commercials are the blood that flows through our veins, like they will say downtown, even Shaura Timanjadi, Okay, so Shaura, don't worry. You don't know what Shaura is?
No, I don't.
You didn't go in Lagos?
Yes.
You see, one mistake most people make is they think that I'm some Majabota. They don't know that there was a time I was hanging out on Quayside. We'll take a commercial break and we'll be right back.
You're listening to Jimi Disu, right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome back to Daily Digest. Thank you very much, Heavywind. Now, Inkuru, I want to. Oh, sorry. If you want to, join us, you can tweet at Nigerian Info FM, but please tag at Jimi Disu on that tweet so I can see it on my device here. And then the call, if you want to make a call, it's 0700 993 993 993. Let me read it again so you don't think I made a mistake. It's 0700 993 993 993. And then the WhatsApp is 0809 597 5805. Before we start there, Bunmi, Inkiru, I'd like to, there's this story this morning about, it says here that Buhari wants to comprehensively rejig the security system. And this was attributed to the NSA. Okay, and he was talking to the service chiefs to say to them that, look, we need to rejig the security system and so on and so forth. I thought I saw something like this a month ago, and I'm wondering, for how long are we going to continue to rejig the security system if we don't, for example, change the service chiefs and have a new thought process within the military? Now, I want you to bear in mind, I don't know if you've seen a video that has gone viral. You've seen that one. And you heard of this gentleman that shot his
boss.
Yes. Now, those two incidents you can't take in isolation. It's an indication of something gone wrong. Even during the Civil War, I wasn't that young not to have noticed if something like this happened. So in that sense, I'd just like to, you to say one or two things about what this portends for us as a country going forward.
The service chiefs have stayed too long. They need to go. It's not just about rejigging. We've heard him sometimes say they should go and re-strategize. At a time, he had them move over to the northeast, thinking their presence will make things better. But things haven't gotten better. I mean, even if you look at, we'll also like to look at things that have worked in other places. They don't even keep their service chiefs that long. If you notice many times, when the government goes, they bring in a new set and they put another person. Keeping the same person going to 6 years now, it's really inconceivable, especially when you see they're not winning the war on terror. If they were, then there's a reason to keep them. Let's look at it like you're running your personal company.
Yeah.
You have a CEO who's not doing well. You don't keep him. Your stock price is going down. You're losing customers. You're losing money. Nobody will keep telling him, come up with a strategy. The first thing you do, you fire him and get in new people. So he has to realize that Nigerian has to be run as a company that has to be profitable. Lives, if you check the lives that have been lost, even the governor of Borno State said even the military that were there are not even engaged in doing work anymore, that they are now into trading fish.
So is it because they've been there for 6 years, or because you think that they've reached the limit of whatever performance they have to give?
They've reached the limit of their capability. So you have to let them go. They can't offer you any new thing again.
Do you? Well, you're not a military person, so it's
I'm
unfair
not.
to ask you this question. But then I'm a very unfair person. I'm wicked. I like to throw you under the bus. Do you, from what you can see, going by the history, do you think they were capable in the first instance? Because look, listen, let me explain. Before, I'm not running anybody down.
Yes.
You could jolly well be a general and not be capable.
Yes.
We've seen professors and whatever. Sometimes I watch TV and they say this man is professor or something, and I'm asking myself, really? Some PhD holders and things. So, do you think that they were, from their history, from their performance, do you think they were capable?
No, they haven't been, because even from the time their rhetorics are more on the pages of the papers. They are winning the war on the paper, but when you hear from people that's what's happening down there, nothing is changing. You might be a good general on the field, might not be a strategist. Somebody might be the one who strategizes and you go carry it out.
Yeah.
So everybody has to have their own skill set. The people there are not being good strategists because they don't have to physically be in the field. But their job is to strategize, and then they have people who execute it. If the execution is bad, many times you find out that the strategy is bad.
If you're getting a bit of a rebellious streak, exhibiting itself, and you do have quite some have even gone unreported. Because in our function sometimes we do get report. Do you think that there's something in wrong with the way the military is structured now? Um, you remember the I think 1,000 soldiers, I think, who are all tried at the same time for disobeying another. Then is it the training, or is there? Do you think there's been some compromise in terms of equipment and support for the men? What do you make out of that?
Yes, there's been compromise, but to be fair, it didn't start with the Buhari administration. It
Okay.
started even with that administration before this. When they were compromising the equipment they were being given,
Yes.
and then soldiers started talking. But you have to know, before people who have been trained to take orders, before they speak out, you can imagine what has happened and how long they have borne it.
So women are more perceptive than men. You must admit that. When it comes, if you want if you want a good prediction, don't go and ask a man. We don't down like 4 or 5 bottles. A man told you walk by, don't correct. Don't ask him. It's women. Women stay clean. A man who has jumped from one makuma to I cannot predict anything. So we will ask you, because they are the prophetess in the house. Where do you think all this is going?
In what way?
If you keep restructuring, rejigging, and nothing comes out of it, where do you think all this might end?
Well, if they don't make
What does your gut feeling tell you?
if they don't make the changes that need to be made, there's going to be an implosion from the north.
Why the North?
No, but that's where the terror is taking.
I
That's where
see,
the
I
terror.
see.
They're not keeping down the terrorists. They're
But
getting a stronghold, and the military that's supposed to keep them down already dissatisfied.
Well, my fear is that it might not be restricted to that area because you have military everywhere.
No, yeah, but you know what? It starts somewhere. It's just like an earthquake, a volcano. It pops up somewhere, and you find it popping out in different places.
different
But it
places.
starts somewhere, and it starts at the head. And where the military are all being overused, underpaid, and dissatisfied is the war on terror they are fighting in the northeast.
Don't you also think that we spread ourselves thin with the use of the military, such that you even found? I saw in the video one big gun, big man, VIP. He had about 4 military guys with horse whips following him. Don't you think we've even spread? I mean, that's a bizarre example, but don't you think we spread ourselves thin? There's a need for us to consolidate, retrain, and re-strategize, and so on and so forth.
The military and also the police.
That police matter is
Yeah, because
That's-
when we're growing up, you never really saw military outside the barracks.
We didn't.
Except you went somewhere that they said was really a hot point. You rarely saw military outside the barracks.
One of the privileges I had growing up, believe you me, was going to a school in a military compound. Corona then, I don't know how it came about, and I used to hang out in Major General Susiva's house. So I was a privileged child in the neighborhood. I'm the one who saw soldiers. We didn't. You hardly saw them.
Hardly saw them.
You
outside.
hardly saw soldiers on the streets until about 66 or thereabout after the coup. Then you started seeing soldiers. Then I think it was Gawan. One day he decided to whip everybody into line. I wish we could get the man. One Colonel Tafa came out one day, and
yeah.
there were soldiers everywhere with koboko, everything, whip everybody.
You're even talking in the east. We have
Yes.
military manning the roads.
Now,
Yes, because I went to the east about 2 weeks ago. You have military manning the roads.
where were the police?
There are some places that you have military checkpoints.
Oh, I see. Well, don't worry. I have Captain Blade coming on Tuesday.
Can't wait to hear his
Yes,
perspective.
yes, he's coming on Tuesday. All of you at home, you all know Captain Blade, and he's going to come and dissect this issue for us through and through. It's going to be very interesting. Listen when you're at home.
Of course.
What dial do you tune your radio to? Let me hear you.
99.3.
Very good. Good girl. Well done. It's Daily Digest with Jimi Disu, and I have Nkiru the farmer here with me. You want me to take a break? I got to take another break. I will take a break and we'll be right back. Yeah, you're welcome back. I saw Collins. He shook this thing, and I didn't know. I first of all thought it was a fire alarm, so I was going to run for the door. Then he said, no, that anytime anybody, listener, whatever does this, it means that it don't hit bam. I was like, okay. Initially, I thought it was the fire. I wanted to run for the door. I understand that we have so many callers calling in. Let me take one or two, and then we go straight to the Ebony. Hello, morning. Hello, morning.
Hello, Uncle Jimmy. Good morning, sir.
Morning. Who's calling?
Yes, my name is Bernard Agama.
Good morning, Mr. Agama. You have just 1 minute.
Okay. On straight to the point on security issue.
Yes.
This very government was voted in due to deterioration of security all over the country. And there was this slogans of change that we are coming to change all the security, whatever, in 6 months. Now, the same chiefs of staffs that came in with this government, mind you, from the northeast, another part of the country, there are just 5 chiefs of staffs, if I'm not mistaken, right? Mr. Jimmy.
Your minute is going on. I'm not supposed to steal your time.
We have just 5 chiefs of staffs. And mind you, over 5 years now, they are still there in the office, while millions of Nigerians have been killed by different terrorist groups. Now, the president is coming often and often, I want to change this, I want to change this. And the same, I want to change this. People are still dying. Is it when all the Nigerians have, all dead before this man will wake up?
Okay,
now,
thank you. Thank you. 1 minute. You see, you spent half of the time asking me if I'm hearing you. Okay, but I think your point is well noted. There is somebody here sending a tweet and he says, "Good morning, Uncle Jimmy. I was 100% sure that Auntie Nkiru or Shegun the Pundit will be your first guest on Bunmi. She deserves a gift, sir. I'm a Haninkon. I will have something. I'm a Haninkon." Let's get straight to Bunmi, please. Time is going, and I know you're all itching and waiting. Thank you very much for your contribution, the last caller. Which one will I take now, Nkiru? There's this one says, "She's using my son to blackmail me." This one says, "Dumped and scared to date again. Frustrated by miscarriages. My widowed mother is now man-mad. Booze brings out the devil in him. Shouldn't he stop flirting now he's married?" Let me tell those who are listening for the first time, Bunmi is Bunmi Shofola. She's been at this for 40-something years. She's been running this column, and she's over 70. Respect her a lot. These were the people who inspired us younger ones. I say younger ones as if he's much younger, but younger is younger. And she's my sister. And she's been running this for 40 years. And therefore, it's quite, it looks like entertainment and everything, but it is serious business. And I'm happy. I hope Auntie Bunmi is there. I'm going to try and see if I can get dear Bunmi herself to come in next week to join us here. Nkiru, let me take this one. This one says, it's from Justina. Do you know any Justina by any chance?
Don't you know any Justina? It's
That'd
a
be
common
another.
name.
No, I don't know any Justina. I know Remy's and this and that, but I don't know any Justina. I know Rachel's and stuff like that, but no Justina. I know some Helens and
Rosies.
some Yabos and so on. Okay. Now, this Justina says, "My widowed mother is now man-mad. She says, I'm currently doing my youth service and I live with my mother. Her father died just as I was entering the university, so I did not live permanently with my mother until now. But I'm thinking of moving out because of my mother's lack of discrimination." I think he meant discretion. Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, sorry. Justina is a woman's name, not so.
Justina is a woman's name, yes.
Yeah. It says, "Different men come into the house, most of whom she entertains in her bedroom." That's a konakona now. There's no other name for it. "They bring different gifts too, refrigerators, air conditioners, assorted drinks, you name it. I find this disgusting, especially when they are cash gifts in envelopes. My dad left the house to us and she has a fairly well-paid job. We're only 3 children. Why has she suddenly turned into a sex maniac?" What do you think it is? I think that's prostitution, really. Is there any other word for it?
Senior perambulator.
God will bless you. God will bless. But what should just? I don't think it's not worth it talking to somebody like that.
No,
It must be ingrained in her.
She's not being fair to her children, so she's exposing them to this kind of thing.
But hey, look, listen. If that's the way she's been structured all along, it's possible. Children never know. These things. Maybe she was even like that when the man himself was alive.
Yeah, but said she never really lived with her. So by the time her kids started living with her, she should have been more discreet about it. If they have money to buy her fridge and give her this thing, they don't need to come into her home.
These days, they say everybody should start working from home. That she can't afford. I would have said, maybe she finds it easy. She doesn't want to hire an office and whatever, and decides to work from home.
There's so much risk involved.
I'm making light out of it, but this is irresponsibility.
Exposing herself, her children to different men coming and going. She should have been more discreet.
Even for herself and her well-being.
Yes.
Even for herself and her well-being. There's nothing to be gained by all this. But Justina didn't tell us what happened to the refrigerators, air conditioners, assorted drinks, whether she drank out of it, whether as she wants to leave home now, she's going to take one of the ACs and the fridges and so on and so forth. Let me just read what dear Bunmi says here, because we need an experience of somebody. Dear Bunmi says that it looks as if your mom is trying too hard to have a permanent man in her life since she lost your father. I think Bunmi, I disagree with this one. This is a Akoma business. It says, I agree with you. She doesn't need a line long of men to prove she's still attractive, and so obviously she's doing it for the money too.
Yeah.
But have you tried telling her how you feel and helping her to get over the loss of her husband? Maybe she's reacting to the grief. Sometimes when people go through grief, either they start eating, or they start drinking, or they start, the things we can't talk to in daytime, maybe. So
this
maybe,
was some
do you
of
think
hearing at the senior perambulator as a way to cope with grief.
And then maybe my feeling is that I don't think it just started now. If she was doing it without the gifts and the envelopes, I probably would understand and say maybe there's something gone wrong. But since they keep coming with, how do the men know? How do the men know that your own freezer, your own AC? She must be asking.
No, they come to the workplace and they notice that there's no. Maybe they ask for a drink and the drink is not cold. Then they say, "Oh, let me meet a need."
Let me meet a need.
Or this place is hot, so let me put AC.
Put AC. Especially when the surgery is taking place. All right, let's leave that. There's another one here, Dorothy. I used to know one Dorothy way back. God knows where she is now. It says, my husband of 3 years has always had the gift of the gab. He's one of those men who just love to flirt with pretty women, and he's very good at it. Women find his silver tongue captivating, but I really get jealous when he chats with other girls in my presence. He says it's just part of his personality and harmless fun. I heard that before. Should I be worried? Do you think there's something else going on here? See, I read an interview with Carlos Santana.
Okay.
And they asked him, why did your first wife go? Why did your first wife leave you? Carlos said, it's difficult for a woman to marry a man that everybody wants to take a photograph with.
Yeah.
And that phrase has stuck in my head. Do you think he's harmless, this gentleman? He's sweet tongue, he's flirting with the woman, and so on and so forth. Do you think he's harmless? The woman needn't worry.
It might be, but constantly flirting in the presence of your spouse is disrespectful. And many times...
Don't frown your face at me. I didn't say I did it now. Why did you suddenly go... Philip, did you get that shot? You missed it. I told you, I said, if I faint here, take the photograph. You missed that face. Okay, but go on. I can see that it brings you complete displeasure. So, but go on.
Yes, it's disrespectful. And many times from talking, it never really ends in talking. If he has the gift of gap, you now talk yourself into what you don't want to do.
Sometimes you think you're talking to a closed door, then all of a sudden the door opens by itself. It's automated.
Exactly.
Do you think you will want to go in? You think it's an electronic...
No, many times it actually leads into what. So if you're not ready to close the deal, don't even start it. But and constantly doing it in the presence of your wife, it's disrespectful. It's highly disrespectful.
It's disrespectful. Okay. There's this one here by Nina. And Nina says that booze brings out the devil in him. This one, okay. It says here, I've been going out with my boyfriend for a couple of years and we are very compatible in every way. That's what she writes. And then it says they are very compatible in every way you can think of. Now, that's hard to get, isn't it? For you to be compatible with somebody in every way.
It's hard, but it
But
can
it's
be
not
done.
impossible.
It's not impossible.
The Lord moves in mysterious ways, his wonders to perform. Sometimes the Lord can breathe on you and all things will fall into place. Do you agree?
I agree.
Okay. But there is a problem in Kiru. There is a problem. He says the only problem is that when he drinks,
demons are released.
when he don't correct, when he drinks, which is often, he loses all self-control and gets really argumentative and aggressive with me.
No.
And even with complete strangers. When he is sober, when he don't clear for morning, he is the most loving person I've ever met. And the one thing you don't want to do is wake up in the morning with a man who don't correct the previous day. The whole room, the stench of alcohol. That's not the time you want anybody. That's the time he wants to kiss you in the morning.
Lord Maje.
When I remember, I hope the good Lord will forgive people, when I was much, much younger, like uni days, ladies we dated then, when you'd have gone to a party, had gin and lime, brandy and this one, smoked cigar and this thing. Then you wake up in the morning, it's morning, darling, you have the mouth, the stench in the whole room, you have to open the windows. But that's when this gentleman now is loving. And now what I just said is, how do I help him get out of his drink problem?
He has to want it.
Yeah.
You know that Alcoholic Anonymous thing that says you have to admit you have a problem. Nobody can admit it for you. Till you admit you have a problem before you can seek help.
Which one do you think is the more difficult out of the two? Is more difficult out of the two? Alcoholics or drug abuse?
Drug.
I think drug hooks you anyway.
Drug hooks you.
Alcohol doesn't hook you. But you see, with alcohol, you keep telling yourself, what's the first? I only had 6 bottles. I mean,
yes.
And so to get an alcoholic off alcohol is just as difficult sometimes.
Yes, another thing, because alcohol is very easy to get, unlike drugs. If you're going to buy, you buy cocaine,
and cheap.
And cheap.
And cheap.
But when you come out everywhere on the street corners, people carrying it on their head, or are calling it bitters, and it's everywhere around you.
Do you know that even the Ogun Jedis that you have, some of them have alcohol in
yes.
it? Do you drink agbo?
No,
Do you
I
believe
don't.
in it?
I know people who drink it for what they call it, medicinal, but I don't.
Some agbo is very good. Don't go yaro, knock the fever out of you.
Yes, but just
they might soon get one for COVID, I'm sure.
Just give me a pill. I'll jump and pass.
Which pill do you want now?
The only one that says that.
By the way, let me divert a little bit. Are you watching this Nigerian doctor, the controversy surrounding her?
Please.
What's your own take?
From those who have gone through, have had COVID and the rest, what they're saying is that if chloroquine is used at an early stage, it might help. But the drug, but the virus is a virus. There's no cure for a viral disease. What they do is that they just boost your immunity for your body to fight.
And then they can use the whatever it is now, the chloroquine, to boost your, but it doesn't.
But what my own is that the woman is saying she cured, but you're in a place where there's data. Give us the names, the numbers, and the rest.
No, but wait a minute. If she was, I can assure you. Let me start you first. Do you think she's a doctor for real?
Yes.
Good. Now, if she wasn't sure of herself, she wouldn't be saying the things. Now, maybe it is now, you cannot say it was just a coincidence. Do you know my own opinion about it? I'm open-minded.
Yes.
And the honest to God truth is, I don't know who to believe anymore.
God forbid, but there's no how you have COVID and they tell you chloroquine, you will take it. Anything they give you, you will take it. Because when they say there's no cure, anything they offer you, you're ready to try it. Because there's other things, it either makes you well or it will kill you. With the disease can either do too. So you're going to be open to anything.
If you have COVID and they give you cow urine, you will take it.
My brother, if you read that point where they say nothing they work, I go drink them all.
Because I know back in the day, I don't know if that thing still exists, but I knew that growing up in Yaba, if you had kids who had something then they called giri, they'd give them cow urine, and I mean, hey, it appeared to work.
So
I think at that point you won't even know what is being
at that
given
point,
to you.
anything you're giving, you take it.
You take it.
At that point, anything you're giving, you take it. So we're still talking in our logical minds, but when you're sick, and that's the reason, I mean, when you see that some crazy things you see, people who say that they're looking for kids, you see them taking their bath in Bar Beach. What I always tell people, pray that you don't have a problem that'll make you not see reason, because when they tell you a solution is there, even your conceivable mind cannot question it. You're going to go try it.
There was even one video that went viral where they tricked some woman, into having something to do with one laborer, saying that he was the one who was going to open the road, and then these idiots filmed it and uploaded it to porn sites and so on and so forth. But like you rightly said, the prayer we have is that we should never have our back against the wall.
Yes.
Have our back against the wall. I tell you, there's something is resonating in my mind now. I'm remembering an incident. I went to stay with my cousin in Port Harcourt, and he had a son then. The boy was about 9. And that day, I would have been in deep trouble. What did I do? I'd like playing pranks with kids. So my shaving foam, I covered my head all the way to my beard and whatever. And then knocked the door of his room.
And he saw you.
And he saw me. Do you know where the guy headed? The air conditioner.
To jump out.
Yes, in those days we had all these
holes.
These wall units.
Yes.
There was AC was walking. He jumped on the air conditioner, wanted to drag it. A 12-year-old, out of panic.
Wow. For born picking that day.
I'm telling you. And I don't know how to do these things, All right. There is a BC here. And BC says, Dear Bunmi, I got married 5 years ago and I've had 4 miscarriages. My doctor has done a lot of investigations and I have taken a lot of medications. He assured me that my case is not an unusual one and that I shouldn't lose hope. What are my chances of eventually having a healthy child? Surely that is not too much to ask for. I think that with the way medicine is now, that you even have 62-year-old women having children,
yes.
There is a chance. You have to be prayerful.
Yes.
You have to have the money.
Yes. As your guest on Saturday talked about too.
It was yes. You have to be prayerful. You have to have the money, and you have to be open-minded.
Yes.
I think those things are very, very crucial. And what I would just say to BC is that it's not over till it's over. Really, I know how tough it can be. Not that. Let me see. Bunmi says that. Can you imagine? I said Bunmi said, as if she was here, I would say that. He says, according to statistics, about 1 in 4 pregnancies end in miscarriage. So your doctor is right that it's a common problem. And she then says that according to reports, about half of early miscarriages where the pregnancy is lost before 14 weeks are caused by chance chromosome defects. But the exact cause of many is not established. If you want to find out, go read the Vanguard. I don't want to read everything.
May they go buy them too.
Make them go buy Vanguard. Make Uncle Sam. By the way, happy belated birthday, Uncle Sam. Now, there's another one here by Teniola. Teniola is 25. And she says that I've been with my boyfriend since secondary school days. Recently, can you believe this? Recently, he left me for another woman after 6 years together. Wait a minute. Let me say this. If you've been with your boyfriend since secondary school days and 6 years he has left you, she's 25. So I can understand that. He says, I was devastated. I assumed we'd always be together and eventually get married. I'm now terrified. I might not find another man who would commit to me as much as my ex did and so on and so. She's 25. This is puppy love.
Yes. Good riddance to bad rubbish.
The guy?
Yes.
Why do you think he's the guy? Excuse me, I take exception to that.
Because I've not referred to you as a car.
I miss my car people, I tell you. But why do you think that is the guy? You don't know. She could have done. She could have initiated it for the guy.
No, but she said she was. From her tone, she was devastated.
But usually, when you see, the problem is never have a problem with a woman. The way she couched it and everything, you think as if the guy is the guilty one. He might not have been.
Well, you're right.
And it's a bit too young. Well, 25 is not too young to get married, though.
No, it's not.
But apparently, what we are seeing here is a woman who is traumatized. I mean, like it happens at that age, she thinks the world has come to an end.
Yeah,
but it
even-
happens to men too. Oh.
Yeah, but they even advise at such young age not to get into long committed relationships.
So what you do? You should be in short ones.
No, not
in
short.
case-
No, not short ones, but
2 years or 6 months.
now your sister was 6 years from when you were 19
Yes.
and 25, and
Yes.
it's like have a marriage.
No,
already.
but wait a minute. What if it was going on well? She should have jumped out of it.
19, and you spend 6 years, and it's over at when you're
Is there
25.
something wrong with that?
No, I think at that age, for me, is not when you should have committed. Personally, you
At
should have
25.
No, 19. She was in secondary school. She was finishing secondary school. These are
Yes.
times you should have friends you hang out with. You don't have to enter into a committed relationship at that time.
So she should have series of them.
I'm not saying relation. I said friendships.
What's the difference between friendship and relationship? Oh yeah, now define friendship and define relationship and tell me the difference.
Friends you can hang out with. You go to party.
Those ones are there. Those ones are there. At 10, you have friends you can go to parties with.
That's for me.
Your
That's what
daddy
you
will
should.
bring you in his car. This one brings.
That's it now.
But when you say that, and she should have friendships and not make
Relationships will be like 23. Yes, but that's when she's early in school and the rest.
At 19, they are graduates. So
At 19.
at
no.
20, they've graduated.
No,
though,
not
these
19.
days.
No. Where?
These days, 20, 21, they're graduates.
No, they're not.
Hey, a lot of people got married at the age of 25. Yes.
That was then, no, not now.
Even now.
No. People are not getting married at 25 now. Go and check it.
How will I check
In
it?
your own time, it was
No, how will I-
21, 22, 23.
What do you mean mountain? Is my time different from yours?
Your time is never. Please don't drag me into your generation.
I don't do this now.
Hey, boy, Jimmy.
No, it's now you're calling me Egbon. No, I think.
But I mean, she shouldn't lose hope.
In
She'll
case
get somebody else.
Teniola is listening, you have just started your life.
Yes.
This is going to happen again and again. If you're not careful, again and again and again and again and again. What I usually tell women is put yourself in a place of self-confidence.
Yes.
And let the guy know that it happens even in our daily relationships, not necessarily romantic, business and whatever. Let the other guy always realize that you can always walk away. Then you tend to gain a bit more respect. So that's what has happened. So Teniola should just take it easy. She should
26, she's
She
young.
should chill. She's young. The funny
And
thing
this is only one heartbreak.
it's only one. He just begin new.
He just begin
He
new.
just starts. If I pick up my phone and call some 40-year-olds now, this whole studio will scatter. But I just start. Let them not know my real behavior. If I pick my phone and call some 45 years, I say, I know some of my sissies, older friends
Yes.
who will say, Jimmy, suffer money, tell them. He just start.
It just start me. If they call on you, hear stories that touch the hearts.
Okay. If you want to know what dear Bunmi says in this, you have to go buy the paper. Uncle Sam must eat something. No, let me put it in the God bless Dr. Wahab Dosumoza so that he too can have something to eat. Yeah, so that's a common phrase. Okay, the last dear Bunmi we have today, which is good because we can then go to one quick story here before I let you go. Okay, and I want you to start thinking about it. That's the issue of the loans, this loan controversy.
Okay.
Well, let me quickly read this, dear Bunmi. This is from a guy called Albert. Philip, I think that your friend's name is Albert, is it? What's his name? Your friend that you share your flat with. It's not Albert. Okay. He says about 3 years ago, against my better judgment, I went out with a girl who was tagged and easily by the boys.
Wow.
All I wanted was a bite.
Hit and run.
Yes, it was a bite at the cherry,
Wow.
like everybody was having. But she later told me she was pregnant. These days, thank God for DNA. In my own time, you slug it out now. It's not you, no, but you, Tanya Gel. when we were good, there was two Fuji musicians that were fighting over paternity. Then
Yes.
there was another one,
Yes.
the traditional ruler in the southwest, and a prince in the north fighting over. These days, you just say, let's go and
Yeah,
do
let's
DNA.
go.
But this one don't hear me. Albert, they say Albert that she's pregnant. He says, Albert says, I denied the pregnancy outright. But listen, but I denied the pregnancy outright, but gave her the money to have an abortion. If you denied the pregnancy outright, why are you giving a cash donation towards what is your business? You know, this sounds like what happened in my generation where people just deny. But women have suffered. I have women who have gone through life with a child that has been denied
by them.
And then when you now ask them that in these current times you can do a DNA, oh, I don't want to disturb the man now. He's happily married and they are suffering. You know, but thank God for DNA now. DNA, Umakalani, just let's go and do DNA test and sort it out once and for all. So anyway, this guy denied the pregnancy outright. He said, but unknown to me, she did no such thing. Of course, the woman took the pregnancy body and pocketed it and was taking more tonic. And with my mom's connivance, she had a baby boy. The lady had gone behind to go and meet Mama
was maybe waiting for the boy
Mama
too.
Albert.
Uh-huh.
Mama Albert said, sit down, my pikin. So he said, as luck would have it, the boy looked so much like me that I fell in love with him. You see?
There's no need for DNA.
You see? He said, I then decided to support her and my son, you see, the way I could. I got married last year and this girl was furious. She has now refused to let me see my son on a regular basis. Whenever she wants to see me to see him, she will bring him to my matrimonial home, knowing my wife's child is a girl. She decided to call the boy Junior. What else would you call the boy? You call him Junior. It's Pepper Dem. It's a Pepper Dem name. He said, without even consulting me. She sworn I would never have another son for what I did to her. This boy, I better be careful. You better go home. When the woman says that she swears for you, you need a lot of kurube. Do you know what kurube is?
I know.
What is kurube? All women know kurube. All women know kurube. He says, but what I really do but stand up to my responsibility. I want peace in my life, and she's the only one who can decide. What I think this Albert should do, talking seriously, is make peace with the woman. He should, first of all, he should go on all fours, hold her leg, and ask for forgiveness. Because I think it's very painful for a woman to be pregnant, for a guy. The guy looks her straight in the eye and says, I'm not the one. I mean,
no, but from the story, from the way he read it,
yes.
When they had the baby, he started taking care of her. But she now became hopeful, thinking that will now segue into marriage. Because he said, when I got married, she felt because I've given him a son that he loves that looks like me. The contract will now change to marriage.
Well, I've always said that there is a difference between having a child and getting married.
No, there's something women do.
They don't follow.
Yes, that upsets me. You don't use your children as bargaining chips. Your relationship with the man should be removed differently.
So what do you then use as bargaining chips?
It's not fair because if the man gets really upset and says, you know what, I turn my back on you and the child, to hell with you and the child. What happens? Who loses? The child is the one who's going to lose because he's not going to have a father to help bring him up. So you also, when you're doing those things, you have to understand the person can call your bluff. There's a limit to how much you can toy with somebody's emotions.
What if all along she loved him? I mean, hey, excuse me, when this child was being made, it wasn't during a wrestling tournament. Oh.
No, it was hit and run. It was supposed to be a hit and run.
It wasn't during, they were not fighting when this thing
happened. But it was supposed to be a hit and run.
What was hit and run?
There was not hit and hook.
Oh my God. It is sad that it's women that have this wrong end of the stick when things like this happen. Even as a young chap, I in our own days then, I believe that once you do it, then you are partly responsible until proven otherwise.
Yes, but that's why they tell women now, you have to take care of your protection and don't depend on the man for it. Because when the man gets up and walks away, if there's any repercussion, it is on you. So you have, as Eboshegu will say, mask up.
Shegu's name has cropped up again.
Mask up. Anything you're doing, mask up.
I must bring Agbede here next week. I miss him so much. And then he said, this calling the boy junior is a pepper them. And he says that
Yes.
There's something here that I don't particularly like. That, his wife had a girl. Excuse me. All children are the same. So, and guess what? You will find girls more useful to you as you grow older
old
than the guys.
Yes.
You will find girls tend to,
because women are nurturers. So at that your old age of needing help, the daughters are the ones who are going to nurture you.
Why is it nurture you? Napping. I fear old age.
No, but even that old age, when your parents are in nappies, you never see the son changing. It's the daughters.
I fear. Yeah, and he's knocking the door. I just beg God that look, if the sun is going to set, okay, if the sun is going to settle, it should whatever. Okay, so you got a call or something? Let's pick the call. Yeah.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Morning.
Morning.
Yes, morning.
Yeah, could you mean welcome?
Yes.
I'm so happy hearing you on Nigeria Info.
Yes, quickly.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Quickly.
Uncle Jimmy, I can't wait to speak with Captain Blaze.
That's on Tuesday.
Yes, on Tuesday. I can't wait. And Nkiru, I want to thank you for the little this thing you chip in about what is going on about the security.
Thank you.
Jimmy, this is Chris.
Yes.
Thank you very much, my brother.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Good morning, Uncle Jimmy.
Morning, sir. Who's calling? You have just a minute.
Okay, I just want to say welcome to Nigeria Info.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm Taiwo, calling from Ogun State.
Thank you very much. Thank you. God bless you.
Take care. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Well, this is where we have to call it a day because he's on standby. Collins is here. He's coming on next. Nkiru, thank you very much for coming. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to talk about this other story, but we'll probably do it in a week or two because I know you'll be back here pretty soon. It's been nice talking to Nkiru Okwareke, Nkiru the farmer. I think you know her more as Nkiru the farmer more than this. More than Nkiru Okwareke. Tomorrow we are back again on the Lagos issue. We are going to go and call the commissioner again. We'll call him. There have been reactions since then. He must have seen the reactions, so we are going to bring the commissioner back. Tomorrow we're also going to talk to Tola Akikugbe. He's an architect into landscaping and so on and so forth, and get his ideas on how. And a few other people will also take your calls, your texts, your SMSs, WhatsApp, and whatever. Just keep it rolling, okay? And then on Friday, I'll leave that one as a surprise. But on Saturday, during the discourse, there's something brewing in Lagos. Something like what happened in Kano, Otoge, of course, all of you know what that is. Yeah, Nkwara. So tomorrow will be the first half of our discussion on that, and I'm bringing Honorable Fuadoki. He's the enfant terrible of APC. He's the one who wants to dabaru everything in the place. So I'm bringing him to give us the first perspective. Then the following week we'll bring the other perspective and try to merge the two. And then the third week we'll bring somebody neutral to look at it in whole. So we are going to sit back and enjoy ourselves. I'd like to thank MTN one more time for sponsoring this program. Follow me on Twitter at Jimi Disu, and also go to my what's this other Instagram. And then, by the way, I also have a blog, jimidisu.com. Register your mail there so I can keep contact with you and keep everything good. Nkiru, thank you very much
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for coming. Having you on the program. Always complete your sentences. I got you there. You went just straight on out of the bus. Collins, you come on next. I'm getting out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow.